which is basically the race soldier litmus test. It's trying to imply that you have to specifically target these people meaning blacks and Hispanics. You have to target them so that we can meet our quota, all right? Our systematic quota of injustice, right? So that's what that all means, family. All right, family, you already know what this is. Chauncey, aka Ukarema, Great Man of God Media, right back at you once again with another GMOGMedia Spotlight. All right, family, let's get right into the topic. I want to talk about the race soldier litmus test. All right, and what am I referring to? I'm referring to this article that I just came across regarding a NYPD or former NYPD police officer who basically failed to comply to become a race soldier. All right, and I'm going to break all this stuff down in the video and provide my commentary for this particular article. Anyhow, if you guys are new watching this channel, please subscribe. Once again, I'm Chauncey, aka Ukarema, Great Man of God Media. I talk about issues that affect black people collectively as a group. This particular channel is a counter-racism channel. For those of you who are familiar with counterintelligence or counter-terrorism, I talk about counter-racism. All right, all I do is try to offer my suggestions on how we can replace this system of racism, white supremacy with the system of justice. So please subscribe. All right, getting me back to the topic at hand, right, family? The race soldier litmus test. This particular article and the audio footage or the secret recording that this former police officer Michael Birch did was basically a litmus test that he failed. All right, and I'm going to break this down as I read the article. The article that originally broke the story actually was from NYDailyNews.com, and this was actually published back in January of this year. But I'm going to read the article headline from NYDailyNews.com. NYPD cop claims he was punished for not busting minorities. All right, and I'm going to read some of the article. An NYPD cop claims in a federal lawsuit that he was punished by supervisors for not stopping enough blacks and Hispanic teens in the subways. Michael Birch, 44, was a transit cop in District 34 in Brooklyn when he secretly recorded a sit-down with his commanding officer and lieutenant after he had received a poor evaluation in 2011. Birch was reminded by Captain Constantine Tazakas that most of the crime in the subway system were committed by blacks and Hispanic teens, while most of the cops' stops were women and whites. All right, so that's the gist of the article. Like I said, this was first actually published back in January of this year, and right now it's recirculating back in media headlines all over social media. So the gist of the transcript, and you also have this information down in the description. You can listen to the audio, and the link will be provided as well in the description. So you can listen to the audio. It's only about 1 minute and 8 seconds, and you can clearly hear the superior officer asking specific questions, trying to bait his lower ranking officer about certain questions on how to target minorities, aka blacks and Hispanics, right? Which is basically the race soldier litmus test. It's trying to imply that you have to specifically target these people meaning blacks and Hispanics. You have to target them so that we can meet our quota. All right, our systematic quota of injustice, right? So that's what that all means, family. Those particular questions that he asked his lower ranking officer, Michael Birch, at the time, asking him specifically, who are you targeting? Well, he's saying that you need to target blacks and Hispanics, right? You need to target these people regardless. If they're committing the crimes or not, you need to specifically target them. And Michael Birch was saying, I target everybody. I don't particularly have a target for a specific group of people, right? And so based off how he answered those questions, he failed the race soldier litmus test. The race soldier is looking for ways to mistreat people based off color, okay? That's the whole premise of racism, white supremacy, is to target and mistreat people based off color. It's just that simple. He did not want to do that. He says he will target anyone, and he is not specifically focused on one group of people, aka minorities, blacks and Hispanics. And so these litmus tests, and this litmus test here was secretly recorded. Now, whether or not you agree with the secret recordings, that's a whole nother topic of conversation. But in order for you to infiltrate the system, you have to do something that is unwarranted, right? That secret conversation, he had a motive behind it. He has a lawsuit, right? And that's where that stands. He's no longer a police officer right now. So at this point in time, right, he did a situation where you have to come into conclusion and come into cahoots with denying yourself of being a race soldier. That's what this whole thing was about. So he failed that test, and I had to commend that officer, Michael Birch, for doing that. He was a 16-year veteran, right? A 16-year veteran on the force of NYPD, and for whatever reason, he just got tired of upholding the system of mistreating people, the system of racism, white supremacy, the system of injustice. So he got tired of that, and I have to commend him for that. But again, at the same time, you have to understand that, you know, as for me personally, I've always been a huge advocate on law enforcement. You know, I definitely, you need to have law enforcement to protect where you live, to protect your family, etc., etc. You have to have that, because I work with police officers as an HOA vice president. So I know firsthand how important law enforcement is. I know firsthand how important policing is. I know firsthand how important relationship building is with police officers. I understand that wholeheartedly, but at the same time, you have to separate and distinguish race soldiers and real police officers who are there to serve and protect the citizens of this country, right? You have to distinguish those two, race soldiers and real police officers who do policing for their community and try to make the community safe. That's what you have to separate, right, family? So I applaud Michael Birch for what he did, for secretly recording that conversation. I applaud him for doing that. Whether or not you agree with that or not, I still applaud that, and he failed the race soldier litmus test. He did not want to uphold the system of mistreating blacks and Hispanics. Okay, he did not want to uphold that system of mistreating and dominating and targeting blacks and Hispanics. He did not want to uphold the system of injustice, the system of mistreating people based off color. He did not want to do that. So I applaud him for that, family. And this is something that, for me, this is something that needs to happen a lot more often. We need to have more police officers coming forward with real information about how their superior officers are trying to uphold their system of injustice, their system of policing, by mistreating people based off color. We need to have people who want to fight that with the system of justice. And Michael Birch was doing that, and I have to applaud him for doing that. All right, family? So that's what I wanted to talk about. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All right? Chauncey, aka Ukarema, Great Man of God Media. Make sure you also leave a comment down below as well, family. All right, Chauncey, aka Ukarema, signing out. Peace.